Shalom. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ha, Rakak, Wadash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. Also want to acknowledge Allah Akyam for pushing this truth, who are pushing this truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Alright, so with that, the Spirit has me in Ezekiel, and I'm chapter 6. I'm going to start at the top, verse 1. And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face toward the mountains of Israel, and prophesy against them. See, so we're supposed to be set up, just like Ezekiel. The prophets were set up to prophesy against Israel. Okay? You know, if you're not talking bad about the Israelites in their current state, you know, you're a false prophet, because if you're a real prophet, you're gonna be prophesying against the 2/3. You see, you're not gonna be in that Renaissance Christian mentality talking about, I'm gonna pray for you, or I hope you get it right. I hope you become blessed. No, we realize and understand that 2/3 of our people, we need to be prophesying against them. Okay. Verse 3, and say, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of Yahweh thy power. Thus saith Yahweh thy power to the mountains and the hills, to the rivers and to the valleys. Behold, I, even I, will bring a sword upon you, and will destroy your high places. So this is the fate of the 2/3. You're going to have a sword. The Lord's bringing a sword upon you. All right? And who is the sword? It's Edom. Esau, Edom. Let's get that because King David, he mentioned that. He said, deliver me from thy sword. Okay, let me get that real quick. It's in Psalms. There you go. Psalm 17 and 13. Let's get it. It says, arise, O Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. All right, so you go into Malachi 1 and 4, it tells you that Esau Edom is the wicked, and that's his sword. So when we come back to Ezekiel 6, and it's verse 3. Okay, so as I was saying, I got to go back to that song, because this is not a song I want in the background. Here we go. So anyway, I got a little bit. I'm over here trying to make some shekels, and in the meanwhile, you know. But let's see. We're at verse 6. It's talking about bringing the sword. It says, I will bring a sword upon you, and I will destroy your high places. All right, because David was an elect. That's why he was saying, deliver me from thy sword, which is the wicked. You see? Esau Edom's blessing is the sword. So the 2/3 aren't in the same mentality as King David, but the 1/3 is, and the elect, the prophets, we're in the same mentality. Our prayer is, it goes a little something like what King David was saying, you know. Deliver me from the sword, the wicked. Deliver me from Esau Edom, because at the end of the day, what's his modern sword is that nuclear missile. You see, and we're going to be delivered from even that thing. Isn't that tells you that in Isaiah? Is it? Oh man, I always forget. 54:17 through the Spirit. Yeah. Isaiah 54:17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage and the servants of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and their righteousness is of me, saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So our righteousness is not from ourselves, it's from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, and we're going to condemn. Our heritage is to condemn these nations. And even our own nation, the 2/3. Because contrary to popular belief, you know, the Renaissance Christian lie to you And there ain't no, 2/3 of Israel is wicked as hell. All right. So how much more the heathen? All right. And really, the Israelites that are wicked, the 2/3, they're even more wicked because they actually have a law, statutes, and commandments that they're supposed to abide by. The heathen, they're wild beasts. Metaphorically speaking, you see. So they don't have no laws. They don't have. That's why they become wild. That's why the so-called the Chinese or the Moabites. That's why they have a nasty dietary law where they eat all kind of abominations. That's why Esau Edom, he allows transgenderism, homosexuality, all kind of different abominations according to the laws of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Because why these heathen nations they've never been given order. They've never been given laws, statutes, or commandments. You see, their morals are not based on the scriptures. See, but okay, for us, like it says, no weapon shall formed against us shall prosper, not even the nuclear missile. See? That's why King David was saying, deliver me from thy sword. And Ezekiel's talking about the 2/3 are going to he's going to bring a sword upon you. See? What is that sword? Today's modern day, modern day sword is that nuclear missile. And who is the wicked? Esau Edom. Verse 4. And your altars shall be desolate, and your images shall be broken, and I will cast down your slain men before your idols. All right, because right now you have a lot of these people, 2/3 to be exact, of our own people, who are they're in all kind of different false doctrines. That's what it all comes down to. This Bible is pretty simple, Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua are pissed off because you Israelites are being spiritual whores. You either don't believe in Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua or you believe in some bullshit idol. And the one we always tell you is Cesare Borgia, the white Jesus Christ. You see? Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua is pissed off about that. That's what it all comes down to, man. The first commandment, it says, don't put no gods before me. Let me get it. It's Exodus 20, I think verse 3. There it is. Thou shalt have no other powers before me, or no other gods before me. That's the very first commandment. Alright? That's why it's not that's the first commandment. You people you're doing all this wickedness, and you don't even, you don't know because you're in strong delusion. You believe a lie. Ezekiel 6:5. And I will lay the dead carcasses of their children of Israel before their idols, and I will scatter their bones round about your altars. In all your dwelling places the city shall be laid waste, and the high places shall be desolate, and your altars may be laid waste and made desolate, and your idols may be broken and seized, and your images may be cut down, and your works may be abolished. All right. Now this happened more than once in history, because it happened in 70 AD when Israel was under siege, and it's going to happen again here in Babylon. All right. So you see, this is the prophecy speaking against, first off, the men set up his prophets to speak against you 2/3, and then all your idols, all the things you're putting your time and your energy into, what you're worshiping, your abominations, that stuff's all going to be gone. It's going to be done away with, like it tells you in verse 6, okay, desolate. It says, and the slain shall fall in the midst of you, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh. See, in that day, there ain't going to be no doubt who the men of the Lord are and who's the 2/3, And here it talk about it right here, verse 8. Yet will I leave a remnant that ye may have some that shall escape the sword among the nations when ye shall be scattered through the countries. See, so there's a remnant, which means remaining, all right? When that word remnant, it pertains to something is there, then something's taken away, but there's still a little bit remaining. It could be in any. There's a few examples. So you got all those examples of what's remaining, and it's that remnant. All right. So that's the men that Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai has reserved. He's reserved 7,000 men, right? So that's a complete number. And in this day, he's reserving 144,000 prophets of Israel, men who are gonna, teach the 1/3. All right, the 1/3 are gonna cleave to the 144,000, and that makes them the 1/3. Because why? Because they believe the truth. They believe the Holy Bible. They believe the scriptures being taught according to knowledge and not according to Esau Edom and his fake theology. Because his stuff it doesn't add up. Okay. So let me see. Where am I at? Verse 8 is that remnant. Yahweh's gonna leave a remnant. That's the prophets. Those are the men teaching on the street corners. Verse 9, and they that escape of you shall remember me among the nations, whither they shall be carried captives, because I am broken with their whorish heart. See, Yahweh, we read it in Exodus 20:3. Don't put no gods before me, he said. And you fucking Israelites, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, you putting all kinds of bullshit ahead of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. We have the knowledge of who the Father and the Messiah. We know their names. We know that they ain't no fucking pasty Edomites. No, the Bible describes them as dark-skinned men. All right, both the Father and the Son, with woolly hair. All right, skin like it's brass burned in a furnace. Okay, so come on, we we know what it is, man. Let's see, where we at? Verse 9 still. And hath departed from me, in the middle of the verse, and with their eyes which go a-whoring after their idols, and they shall loathe themselves for the evils which they have committed, and all their abominations. See, so you committing all these abominations, man. I seen an Issachar guy the other day, and I told he had a cross on his neck. I said, you got to get rid of that. I said, that's a lie, brother. I go, it's going to be hard for you to understand this, but Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai are the names, and Jesus goes back to Zeus from Greek mythology. That's why it's a so-called white man, because it's a Greek. Goes back to Serapis Christos, which is that was the white Jesus during the time of Egypt, when the Edomites started ruling. See? And it's what's it say in the Apocrypha? It's a let me go get it real quick, because I can't remember until I see it. Wisdom of Solomon, I believe it's 14 towards the end. Oh, you know what? It's talking about ungodly. An ungodly custom. Let me see. So lucky, I'm just looking for this verse. Here it is right here. Wisdom of Solomon 14:16. Thus, in process of time, an ungodly custom grown strong was kept as a law, and graven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings. All right? That's when you had, Serapis Christos, Jesus Christ. If you're not familiar with Serapis Christos, look him up. Google. We're in the information age. All you gotta do is Google it, and Jesus Christ. They're based on the same thing. Tammuz. Their stories are all the same. But this is an ungodly custom. All right. Let me get it real quick. Let me read more. Well, let's start at 12. Wisdom of Solomon 14:12. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them the corruption of life. For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever. For by the vainglory of men they entered into the world, and therefore shall they come shortly to an end. For a father afflicted with untimely mourning when he had made an image of his child soon taken away, now honored him as a god, which was then a dead man, and delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices. Thus in process of the time an ungodly custom was grown strong, was kept as a law. Graven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings. All right, so this is speaking of both Serapis Christos and Jesus Christ. And going even back to Egypt, like I said, Tammuz, you know. These are stumbling blocks, see? It tells you that in verse 11. They honor Serapis and the one they call Jesus, because why? Caesar Borgia died an untimely mourning, like it says in 15. And if I'm not mistaken, the same thing happened during the original Serapis Christos days in Egypt, where during the Ptolemaic dynasty. All right. Let me go back to Ezekiel 6 and finish this off. All right. 10. And they shall know that I am Yahweh, and that I have not said in vain that I would do this evil unto them. See, he's not saying it to be useless. He's saying it because this is going to come to pass. He's going to destroy 2/3 of his own people. His chosen people is the nation of Israel, but right now he's only dealing with 1/3 of his chosen people. All right. So verse 11, thus saith Yahweh, thy power smite with thine hand and stamp with thy foot, and say, alas, for all the evil abominations of the house of Israel, for they shall fall by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence. And a famine's coming to America now. That your economic economists, they're speaking about these famines and this crash that's coming to the stock market. America falling daily. These like I say, these economists, they're predicting bad things for Babylon America. And that's what this is all about here. Verse 12. He that is far off shall die of the pestilence, and he that is near shall fall by the sword. Right, so you might not get hit by a missile because you're an outskirt of let's say they bomb Cleveland, nuclear bomb, or whatever city it starts out with. We don't know, right? But if Cleveland gets hit, now all of a sudden, you might have been far off from there, but you're going to die from pestilence and famine. If the sword don't get you, the famine or the pestilence will. That's what this is talking about. It tells you the same thing in 2nd Ezra chapter 15. Verse Ezekiel, let's see where I'm at, 13. Then shall ye know that I am Yahweh, when their slain men shall be among their idols round about their altars, upon every high hill, in all the tops of the mountains, and under every green tree, and under every thick oak, the place where they did offer sweet savor to all their idols. So all of this wickedness, you go to Brazil, they got the Cesare praying over the whole city. I don't know if that's Sao Paulo, Brazil, or what, but you guys know what I'm talking about with the big statue of Cesare Borgia. So it's all of our people, which are worshiping these false idols, and it's not just Cesare. It's all kinds of stuff. Buddha, they got all kind of madness our people are into right now. Verse 14. So will I stretch out my hand upon them, and make the land desolate, more desolate than the wilderness toward Diblath, and all their habitation, they shall know that I am Yahweh. All right, so you Israelites, you 2/3, you're going to know the truth, but you're going to know it by pain, you see? And that's what it is with the 2/3. You're going to be destroyed by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai when he decided to visit the earth. And part of his presence is those nuclear missiles. So if you ain't part of the elect, man, you really, your days are numbered, just like Esau Edom. All right? So with that, I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ha-Rakak Wadash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. Also, want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing this truth throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom to the elect. All right, Shalom.